सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य मनोहृदि निरुध्य च मूर्ध्या ध्यायात्मनः प्राणम आस्थितो योग धारणाम। इसके पहले हम क्या विचार किए थे? यदक्षरम वेद विदो वदन्ति विसन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागाः यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदम संग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये। I shall tell you that state of existence where everybody goes in the end, that which is declared imperishable by those who know the Vedas, that which the self-controlled ascetics or sannyasis and passion-free enter that desiring which celibacy is practiced, that goal will declare to thee in brief, O Arjuna. I shall tell it in brief. There is no end to elaborate explanation. So that we have seen now the 12th sloka. He says to Arjuna, Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna about that goal, where all the yogis go and all practice celibacy and control the senses and meditate. They go to that state, that goal in the end. About that, Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna in brief. He says, Sarvadvarani sanjamya manah hridi niruddhya cha mudhnya dhyayat manah pranam asthito yogadharanam. He is telling about the mind and prana. Having closed all the gates, confined the mind in the heart, and fixed the life breath in the head, engaged in the practice of concentration, engaged in the practice of concentration. Yoga dharana. Dharana, concentration. Yoga dharanam, concentrating the mind. So, this is about the state of prana and mind, how to do, what to do at the time of departure from this body, because he will then attain the goal. If your last thought will be like this, you are bound to be directed towards the absolute goal. बोलो हल्ला उल्ला नहीं करना, इधर क्लास चल रहा है. बोल दो, नहीं तो देखो इधर भी हल्ला करते हैं बाहर जा करके। हरिओम, बाहर हुई तो उनको बोलना चाहिए, अंदर बाहर हो रहे हैं, हल्ला कर रहे हैं। और वो खास करके कुलकर्णी जी जोर जोर से चिल्लाते हैं। सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य controlling all the gates. Gates. Now we were closing the gates, but yet there is there is sound outside. So on this point, Lord Krishna explains. इसको भी बंद कर दो ना, हल्ला। फोन पे बात कर रहे हैं। सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य, having closed all the gates, closing sanjamya, controlling or closing. When you close the gate, you are safe inside. Mano hridi niruddhya, confined the mind in the heart. Mudnya dhyayatmanah pranam, and fixed the life breath in the head, engaged in the practice of concentration. Asthito yoga dharanam, dharana, practicing dharana, concentration. The gates are the senses of knowledge. Closing the gates means control of all senses by the practice of pratyahara. Pratyahara, then dharana, or withdrawal of the consciousness from them. Even if the senses are controlled, the mind will be dwelling on the sensual objects. Therefore, the mind is confined or fixed in the lotus of the heart. That is Anahat Chakra. And thereby all the thoughts or mental modifications are also controlled. Though the senses are controlled, yet the mind can dwell without the help of senses because of the force of the subconscious mind. Mind will be thinking of the sense objects. So, senses will be closed. They are called gates. And even then, mind should be withdrawn from the pratyahar, from the outside world, from the names and forms, That means the sense objects should be withdrawn and it should be fixed in the heart, mind. So the modifications are also controlled. What are the modifications? That means contact with the sense objects directly by mind, not by the help of senses. That also can be done. Mind is, of course, the senses are the helpers, helping hands, but mind can do it directly without the help of senses. So that should be kept in mind. That means even though the senses are controlled, mind can also travel and do havoc. We have that experience in Vishnu Sahasranam. My eyes are on the page of the book and on the lines where the names are there. My mouth is chanting it. My eyes are controlled. The tongue is also controlled. And I am hearing the sound of the all chanting sound and the Shruti. And yet, the mind slips away. Yet the mind slips away. Because I have the practice of watching the mind, I can watch it and see it. Though I am concentrating here on the chanting, yet I see this mind traveling here and there. And when I come to sense, then I withdraw it again and again. That goes on while chanting. The mind is such a rascal. It slips away. However you watch it, it's slipping away also you watch, because your concentration is somewhere else, so you are helpless there. So this is how so difficult to control the mind. Vayoreva suduskaram, Arjuna said, and Lord Krishna agreed, no doubt in it. It is just as difficult as holding the wind in a net. Arey yaar, this rascal mind is terrific. Therefore, the mind is confined or fixed in the lotus of the heart, and thereby all the thoughts or mental modifications are also controlled. How it gets controlled? The lotus of the heart. Heart is the origin of everything. Heart means the sky which is absolutely balanced and silence. And there, if somehow mind is hold, and there the sound, Om, the primordial sound, it gets origined and it comes out when you chant Om by the mouth, through the throat. And of course it starts from the mud, just as the lotus originated from the mud at the bottom of the water. But that also, that mud, clay, is the modification of water only. And that's how water is nothing but the modification of imbalanced state of the heart. When it starts vibrating, that creates water, and the lotus starts there, because when the water is vibrated, the clay is created and the lotus gets originated from the base of the water, from the bottom of the water. And then the lotus grows and it comes over the water, and then it becomes a bud facing downward, and then it slowly grows up the water surface, and then slowly it starts blooming, and then the lotus we see. And there the creator is created, means mentally. That is the imbalanced state of the heart when visualized or expressed. That Brahma, the creator, is the universal subtle body. And from the bottom of the Brahma comes out two sounds. They are Om and Atha. The primordial sound, which is the cause for the whole creation, that creates the mind of the universal expression of the unseen, the life force of water, which is called Vishnu. And that's how Vishnu is all pervasiveness, and he sleeps in the water, means he is all pervading and silent in the water itself. And naturally, water is modified into clay. So naturally, there will be still further modification, which is called lotus. And then comes the further expression, that is the ID of I, universal I, that is called Brahma. And from Brahma also the sound comes out as further expression. And that sound is nothing but visible or audible or not audible, that has got four phases. It starts from the heart and comes out from the mouth of every being, the sound. So, the sound is known as the root cause of creation, and still before it was the flower, which is called lotus, flower of the water. That is expression of the water. Water means Vishnu, the life force which is all pervading and hidden in the water. That is called Vishnu sleeps in the water. So in that way, we learn from Narayan Sukta how he is sleeping in the water, and from its navel, from the central point, navel, the lotus comes out, and there appears further expression or manifestation, which is called ID of Brahma, the universal being, the creator, and then it starts creating by the sound, audible and not audible. The sound has got four phases. Three are not audible. The last fourth phase is audible. Turiya, Turiya, that means fourth state, fourth phase of that sound is spoken by the beings. Whatever sound comes out, that is the fourth phase. Before that, three phases are, they linger in the heart. First is para, then called pasyanti, then called upanshu or madhyama, and then comes the vaikhari, the fourth state, which is audible. In this way, sound is manifested, and from that sound, which is nothing but energy, which is nothing but vibratory system or prana, same thing is called prana, the primordial energy, vibratory process that goes on further, expressing itself, manifesting itself. Then all these creatures are created by the mind, just as before. Yatha purvam akalpayat, so says the Vedas. From the sound, the Brahma starts creating, and that sound also is known as prana, because it is vibration, and that is also known as the supreme power. So it is known as Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, and it gives a momentum to go further and to activate. So in that way, the creation gets manifested from the sound. Now, that we shall see further. Now, what we understood, how to fix the mind, which is a form of prana, which is vibratory system also, and which is the manifestation or expression of the universal being the creator. So in this way, mind, the universal mind is called the creator, universal mind. So mind is there in the heart. It is originated from the heart only. And the universal mind is known as the creator Brahma. In this way, mind is originated from the heart, and so the mind should be fixed there in the heart. On the lotus, that means the universal mind should not act. So also the individual mind. In this way, fixing the mind in the heart, and then he says, "Jo band karo yaar." Enough. उसको भी बंद करो. एक कावड़िया भी बदमाशी करेंगे रात दिन. हैं? 2 दिन? अच्छा अच्छा. Yes.
Maharaj, so should we understand relatively this, this Vedas, when the sages, when the saints, they hear the Vedas, so should we understand that it is from the heart they hear?
Yes. The knowledge is in the heart. The real knowledge, the clarity is in the heart. That's why they say, hear the inner voice, the voice of the heart. Whatever comes out from the heart, if it is heard and properly understood and it is followed, then no problem in your life. That is what our Guru of Goswami Tulasidas said, and when he heard the heart, then all those poems came out. And that happened with the Adi Kavi Valmiki. It came out, the sound came out from the heart. That is the first sloka. And that happened also with Meera and great other great devotees. They hear the heart. Whatever comes out from the heart, that becomes heart-touching poems. Kabir Das, Meerabai, Surdas, and our Gujarati saint, तीनों लोगों छोड़कर आओ गगन निवासी रे. कौन है? आँखियाँ हरि दर्शन की प्यासी, आँखियाँ हरि दर्शन की प्यासी. नरसिंह मेहता, Narasimha Mehta. All these great souls, they speak from the heart, not by the mouth, not by the mind. And that is called, when Saraswati, the speech, goddess of speech, she is pleased with you, that means your heart's lotus blooms and everything comes out from the heart. Saraswati is the power of the creative power of the Creator. Creator is in the heart. So she is the prompter of all the beings, the first manifestation. That is the supreme power. In this way, we have to see everything with an all-round vision. What Vedas say, what epics say, what other scriptures say, they say the same thing. And what all these great souls say. In this way, the mind should be fixed on the heart, the lotus of the heart, which is called Anahat Chakra. And life breathe in the head. Head is the headquarter of, that's why it is called head. Headquarter of prana, mind and everything. Of course, they get originated in the heart, from the heart, and their headquarter is the head. And this sound, or the mind, or the prana, prana is the father of, or pre-stage of the mind. The same vibratory process becomes the mental thought waves. So they are in the head, means in the sahasrara, the last brain. So the prana should be fixed there. So mind will not be frittering. The headquarters is locked down. The origin, the home also is under control, and the headquarters, head office also is in control. So both are controlled. So prana has to be fixed on Brahmarandhra. Brahmarandhra means the subtle way to the brain. Brahmarandhra, above the nostril holes, the holes of the nose and holes of the our all vibratory process, and that ends in the very, very subtle most position in the sahasrara. It becomes one with the brain and stops there. So the brain also stops. The vibratory process as prana and mind goes through the susumna, not by the nostril ida pingala, but by the susumna. Susumna goes to the head. In the end, the whole susumna nadi becomes so subtle, even in a microscope, the doctors cannot see it. By no means, only when mind is fixed, stable, that stability can see it, which is beyond vibration. In this way, the next sloka explains it. Yes.
So in the morning sessions, earlier Swamiji shared that between the two half of the Kapala, the 12 अंगुल से ऊपर वो है, it is the same thing.
Same thing when you are breathing and doing everything, and you are practicing pranayama. Then only, when it stops there is no movement. When movement starts, both way, downward and upward, that we have discussed, you have forgotten. Prana and apana. So the whole prana, when is fixed in the head, means in the brain, then if it activates, it goes upward also, beyond the head, upwards, 12 finger measures, and downward also towards the heart. So that is same, there is no contradiction. So now the next sloka explains further. Om ityekaksharam brahma vyaharan mamanusmaran yah prayati tyajan deham sajati paramam gati. At last, when you are departing from the body, so what to do? If you are practicing prana, then you have to pranayam, then you have to fix the prana on the upper stoppage and inner stoppage, both. Then only prana stops completely. So both kumbhakas, Bahya kumbhak and Antar kumbhak, inside stoppage and other outside stoppage, both should be stopped. Then only real pranayama happens. But by this fixation of mind and heart, mind and prana, prana in the head and mind in the heart, both the works are done. There they stop. So, chanting the Om, Om iti ekaksharam Brahma, Sabda Brahma. So, at the end, before death, one should practice this. Now, before it, we have seen Lord Krishna telling us to fix the mind on the in the center of two eyebrows, Agyan Chakra. But it is not at the time of end. It is only practice time. Whenever you want to remember God while in the life. This is told for the last end time, last time. When you depart from this body, how should you control your mind and prana so that it doesn't go anywhere, but it gets fixed, just as when you break the earthen pot, empty pot, the pot is broken, the body is decomposed, body is dead. That means body is called the holder of that empty space, the heart. So, at that time, it should be constant. The sky is constant. It never goes anywhere, That's why it is said all the senses should be closed, all the gates should be closed. So the inside sky is fixed, and when the pot is broken, nothing happens to it. That's how the Vedas said the prana of the yogis or the jnanis, realized souls, natasya pranan utkramante. His prana never goes out, it remains as it is. Just as the sky of the broken pot remains without any change, it never goes out, never goes in, it remains as it is. Natasya pranan utkramante. Utkraman, going out. And uncontrolled mind and prana has some gateways. The senses are opened. Eyes, ears, nose and mouth. So the prana goes through these gates, and accordingly the prana goes to the subtler realms. If it is gone by eyes, then it goes to Surya Loka. Chaksho Surya Ajayata. So Surya is the sun, is the light which reveals all the objects, clarifies all the objects, removing the darkness. So sun is called the deity of eyes. If the prana goes through the eyes, it goes to Surya Loka, the state of sun god. And sun also is otherwise taken as the creator, because sun is the origin of all these planetary, all these 9 or 10 planets. So sun is the center and luminous one. So that is our origin. So it is taken as the creator. सूर्य को ब्रह्मा मानते हैं. He is taken as the creator. You go through Aditya Hriday and many other proofs we get from the different scriptures. So now he says, Omityekaksharam Brahma, the sound God, Akshara Brahma or Sabda Brahma, same thing. That is the primordial sound, Om, which comes out from the mouth of Brahma. Om atha sabdascha dvabeto brahmanah pura kantham bhitva vinirjato tasman mangalika bhuvau. These 2 words came out of the mouth of the Creator Brahma in the very beginning of the creation. That's how these 2 words are most auspicious ones. They are Om and Atha. Om means the sound, the primordial sound, and Atha means sound is a vibratory system. So then means eternal modifications. That is called world. So Om and Atha, These two words are the cause for the creation. So they are most auspicious ones. In this way, at the time of death, one should chant mentally or verbally Om, Ekakshara, monosyllable alphabet, which is the name of the God also, the Creator also, or the Param Brahma also, the Absolute Truth. That is the first identification name of the Absolute or the creative force, everything. In this way, the Om should be chanted either mentally. Four phases are there. In any phase, that means either para or pasyanti or upanshu or vaikhari. The sound is same. Para means absolutely subtle, and then little gross is called pasyanti, which can be heard by the mind, not by the ear. And then comes upanshu. It can be heard by the inner ear. You can hear the sound for yourself, not others. The mouth are closed, but the tongue is working there. So it doesn't come out, but it vibrates in the mouth. So the inner ear also can hear it. And then when it comes out, then it becomes audible. In this way, in the end, one should chant the monosyllable, the sound which is called Om. That is also known as Pranava. It is the starting of prana also. So, the name of Saraswati also is called Prano Devi. Prano Devi. It is the essence of prana, life's life, life of lives. The original cause of vibratory process, that is called prana, the movement. So, the sound which is known as in expanded way, which is known as sky, the ether, which is the expansion of the sound, sabda, and then the rupa, the prana, vayu, the movement in the ether, that is called, the same sound becomes touch. You touch the wind, you cannot see it. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the trees nod their heads, wind passes by. Yes. So in this way, one should chant Om any way is possible in these, out of these four phases of sound, and then we shall see tomorrow. Vyaharan. Vyaharan means uttering. chanting, uttering, and mam anusmaran, and when it is chanted, that means little manifested. The sound is manifested within. Then at that time when prana is little vibrated, which is fixed on the head in the Brahmarandhra, at that time the mind in the heart should remember me, the Absolute, because it is nearer to the Absolute, that absolute stable sky of the heart. So, the sky and wind, the prana, the sound and prana, both are under control. Further we shall see tomorrow. Uttering the one syllable Om, the Brahman, and remembering me, the Supreme, he who departs, leaving this body, attains to the supreme goal. They becomes absolutely silent, absolutely stable. That is the state of liberation or state of the truth. That is called liberation. That is the goal of all the beings. So we shall see it in detail tomorrow, the 13th sloka. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Sabda Brahma ki jai. Saraswati Maya ki jai. Hari Om.